Hey there, I'm Bree and I go by Tip of the Moon. And this Reiki ASMR session is going to be for lifting our mood and kind of brightening our spirits, releasing negativity, releasing depression. I'm filming this right around the summer solstice here in the northern hemisphere, so I'm trying to bottle as much of this sunshiny energy, longevity, and give it to you whether you're in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere. Just trying to capture as much of that sunlight and warm, joyful feeling as possible. I'm going to do a smoke cleanse and some crystals, and I'll show you what I'm going to use. Today's session, I'm going to start us off with a candle to kind of attach our intention to a flame and really working with that fiery solar energy. So after the smoke cleanse, we'll do a candle. And then I have a piece of natural citrine, which is so sunny and warm and positive and very uplifting. So bringing that sunshiny natural citrine. It's also very clearing, which feels like the solstice is that way. We're putting everything is illuminated under the light, and so we can see things clearly. So I also like the citrine for that. And then I have some mangano calcite, which is just a pinkish calcite. And this one is so good for promoting inner peace and pure love and joy, and it's just got a very nice softness to it. And I think I've used these two together. I ordered them both at the same time, shungite and sunstone, and thought they were much larger pieces. But we're going to use the shungite for just removing any of that negativity and depression, and then bringing in the sunstone to replace it with good intentions and things like that. So using those two together. And if you can, just staying with your breath and in your body as much as possible throughout the session, noticing any sensations that come up. Okay. I'm just working with a little incense. This one is opium flower, which feels really heady and optimistic and uplifting. There's something about the summer solstice that's almost intoxicating. It is an extreme of our cycles of systems. It is when there's so much sunlight that it's almost overwhelming. So kind of working with that energy and inviting that in as much as we can, and releasing anything else that feels heavy. Calling in the light and experiencing that. While we always want to move in cycles, we can enjoy those high points and celebrate them. I have a little feather here to also just bring in some lightness. just going to put this down and use these two feathers together. And just lightly washing that smoke over you, kind of clearing things out. And I like these feathers just because they feel so much like they blow soft, easy breeze over you. Okay, so I'm going to use the candle now, and I wanted to start with this little tea light, and if you could think of something that brings you joy, that lights you up, that makes you feel on fire, and we're just trying to capture that energy, that personal energy, and put it into the candle, and then start to increase and grow its power and sending more to it. So if you can, just think of something that really makes you feel bright, alive. And we want to kind of attach it to this flame, so you can take a moment to bring your intention to mind and start to align it with this little flame. And I'm just going to take this candle and put it behind me and let it burn through the night and absorb all of the energy of the solar work that we're doing here, and just know that it is working behind the scenes to empower this working. Okay. So I wanted to start with the citrine and just bringing that in soft and gently. Starting to really empower kind of our internal light so that it matches the external light, having both of them feel bright and vibrant, allowing us to lift our moods and really shine, pushing out any of that negativity, any of that depression, being a light against the darkness. and just gently lifting all of that energy up, feeling bright and warm. And as we bring in this brightness, just allowing any of the other bits of negativity and depression to start to be illuminated so that we can see them clearly. We can get a look at what they and how they affect us. Finding that brilliance, that brightness, that clarity. And releasing anything that dampens its brightness. Just pulling out little bits of negativity and depression and replacing them with sun and hope and joy. Very good. Very good. Citrine is very lovely for its bright, sunny feeling, its ability to invoke our willpower and what we want. And so I'm going to bring this Mangano calcite, very light and airy. Just make sure that everything feels effortless and joyful and full of love. Just raising our mood up and making sure it feels not so heavy, releasing that negativity, anxiety, and fear, depression, and bringing in this bright, fluffy, soft, self-love energy. Massaging it all through. And just gently brushing away anything that doesn't serve that purpose of feeling light and lifting our mood. Just kind of wiping that away. And plucking out a few of those little bits. Okay, very good. So this is Mangano calcite. It's very light pink, very soft and joyful. And I have these pieces of shungite for pulling, and sunstone for adding sun and brightness, and pulling and replacing. And just sifting through all of those little things in our body, in our soul, in our energy, and finding the little places where the darkness creeps in, pulling those out, and replacing them with something a little more joyful, a little more in tune with our inner light. It's pretty windy out, so my wind chime is going crazy. We've had such a stormy June here in New England. It just has not felt very warm. Pulling out little bits and replacing with sun and brightness, joy and hope, positive outlook that things will get better. So in my case, I believe that the weather, I'm going to pull out my bad thoughts around how cold it's been and replace them with the hope that it's going to get warm. Just being silly. But removing some heaviness. Some negativity, releasing some depression, some sadness, releasing and then replacing with sun joy, optimism, pulling, replacing, pulling, So those were shungite and sunstone together. And since a lot of our session is about lightness and uplifting our mood, I just really wanted to fluff up your aura and try to make sure everything feels light and airy, empowering. Sending you so much brightness and joy to lift your mood and hope that you feel better. I hope that this session was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed it, here are all the ways that you can support my channel. It's much appreciated. Book a private session, join my Patreon, leave a tip or comments. All are so appreciated. Thank you so much.